Hey, welcome back to Nascent Rise. I waited a while to do this video because I wasn't sure what I was going to say, but my first video for this channel was dropped in March of 2022. Today it's January 2024, and a lot has changed over that time, and I feel like personally I've been through a lot more than the calendar of time has, could represent. I think what I want, I would, okay, so this is my thought. This is a thought experiment. When I started this channel, I created it to answer questions for my family members if they wanted to get into digital asset investment or trading or whatever. And, so that was my focus, and that was kind of the thought behind coming up with tutorials to basically educate, not show you how to trade or anything like that, but what would I want to know if I was getting started myself? So in the beginning, most people will probably find that this is their journey, but I didn't know anything about Bitcoin. I was told about it a while before I got into it, maybe a couple years. I didn't think anything of it. Because when I first heard about it, I was like, I don't know, didn't trust it. And then I was introduced to it again, and it made more sense to me. And then it was explained to me. And, looking back, what I understand now is that I didn't have a comfort level with it, right? I didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was. It was different. And that made me feel uncomfortable. So I didn't want to get involved. And, I believe that was a mistake. And now I just look at that as a learning opportunity, for how I see life, in the future. I look forward to new things and trying out different things, even if it makes me feel uncomfortable, because that's part of the growth process. Sometimes, growing can be uncomfortable. So, what I went through, well, at this point, I've been through most of a bull run in crypto and all of a bear market in crypto, or crypto winter as they call it. And now I know why they call it that. It was a lot of crazy things happened over this bear market. They say that this is the worst one in crypto history, and I don't know if that's the case, because I've only been through one full cycle, and we're in the beginning of maybe through the first quarter of a new bull run now. But all I can tell you is that it's painful, and I have a lot of scars from the experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some tips and things that kind of helped me. So first thing is, this is not financial advice. I can only tell you what I did, and those things that helped me. So number one was, get to know Bitcoin, get involved with it, try to learn as much about it as you possibly can. Mainly from YouTube or maybe other, sources on the internet. Don't be careful who you listen to. Don't listen to the shillers. People are trying to sell you their bags, sell you their products or whatever. Try to find somebody that's, down to earth, telling the truth, and not trying to, pull you, get your money or shake you out of your coins, right? Because that's what a lot of them do. And hopefully by now that I'm not that type of person. I'm not trying to. I don't have a product to sell. My new YouTube channel. This channel is not monetized. Doesn't have any commercials or anything like that. I don't get paid, right? So I just do this out of my free time, and hopefully to help somebody that's new in their journey as I was. So everything starts with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a store of value. And I still feel that that's true, even stronger now, more so than I did before. Every month, try to put more money in Bitcoin. I don't care, if it's, whatever you can afford to invest. Because the bottom line is that the dollar and all currencies are eventually going to zero. And it might be a slow, process. You might not feel it, see it. Might not happen in our lifetime or your lifetime, but it's going to happen. So Bitcoin and other assets all too, like gold, are pretty safe I would say gold is definitely safer, but Bitcoin now is a relatively safe bet, especially since the SEC has recently approved the spot Bitcoin ETF. So you have big players like BlackRock and Fidelity, with Cathie Wood. They've entered the space, and now a lot more people can access, will be exposed to Bitcoin through an ETF product, which is traded on the stock market. So, or even in your hopefully one day it will show up in your 401k as an option in your 401k. Okay, so after that, you have Ethereum. And Ethereum is a big ecosystem. There are there's so many projects in Ethereum, and that's where most of the value is right now in that network. But the problem with Ethereum is the fees. I mean, everything is so expensive. If you just want to move, some Ethereum from one wallet to another wallet or address, you're spending, a few dollars at least when things are slow. But when things pick up, when the chain's busy, you're looking at spending 10, 20, sometimes, $50, $100. Sometimes people pay for trades when the chain is busy. And, at this point, the plan was to change Ethereum or add a feature to it so that it would scale and the fees would be less expensive. That didn't happen. I think, that plan is going to take a lot longer than the developers thought, it was going to take to implement. So what they do now is they have the layer 2s. So the Ethereum and Bitcoin are layer 1 tokens. Layer 2s basically borrows the security from a layer 1 chain like Ethereum, and you can perform transactions on those chains almost as if you were on ETH. But basically, so I'll give you an example. So Arbitrum is probably a popular, maybe the number 1 layer 2 right now for Ethereum. So the way it works is you buy some Ethereum, you bridge that Ethereum to the layer 2, and then you conduct whatever transactions you would normally do on the Ethereum, but you do them on those layer 2s. And Arbitrum has some of the same applications that are also on Ethereum, but you get to use those applications for a fraction of what it costs. Maybe pennies sometimes, versus dollars or tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars, on Ethereum. And so what happens is when a bunch of transactions are made on the layer 2, such as Arbitrum, they're rolled up into, you can think of it as a kind of like a basket or a batch, and they're sent to Ethereum and they're settled there. So the Ethereum becomes a settlement layer for your layer 2s, if that makes sense. So after Bitcoin, your next big investment is Ethereum. And after Ethereum, there are a bunch of other layer 1s and different spaces or different, as I say, projects. So what you see in front of you is the Cosmos ecosystem. And I didn't explain this. I showed a picture of this in my first video, but I didn't explain it. And what you're looking at is the map of zones. That's the name of the site. So it shows you all of the projects that currently exist in the Cosmos ecosystem. And right now there are 85 zones. They call them zones. I don't know why, but that's just what they do. So you can see from the center, you have larger circles: Noble, Osmosis, Atom, Kuji, Injective. Those are the more prominent projects or layer 1s in the Cosmos ecosystem. And Cosmos is very different from Ethereum. So the way Ethereum is, Ethereum is a layer 1, but all transactions were, at one point, all transactions took place on Ethereum when, this is before layer 2s. So layer 2s were a way to scale. Cosmos took a different approach. They said, you know what? we're gonna have every chain, every project is going to have its own chain, and all of its applications are going to be hosted on that chain. And that was the way they decided to scale. So you have a lot more projects, layer ones, than you do in the Ethereum ecosystem. Ethereum is the only, well, I won't say it's the only one. It was the biggest one in the ecosystem, layer one. So, but you can see how much it's grown. I think when I first did the video for the channel, there were only 20, maybe 30 zones, max. And now you can see that it's grown a lot more over that time. And Ethereum is kind of hot right now. For a long time, it wasn't as popular as Ethereum, because Ethereum is so big and has so much market share. And Cosmos doesn't, isn't marketed, it wasn't hyped. There weren't a lot of people talking about it. But I always liked Cosmos. After I decided to move away from Ethereum, due to the fees, I gravitated towards Cosmos. I like their the way they do things. I like their kind of just kind of, I guess, the way they move. It's not showy, it's not flashy like Ethereum. It was a smaller space, so it was a smaller community. There was a lot of development, tons of developers. I like the technology. I'm a developer myself, so I can appreciate some of it and understand some of it. And the main thing was that they offered a lot of airdrops, and an airdrop is when basically a new project gives away free tokens. So it used to be, well, for the Cosmos, all you had to do was hold the Atom token, and you would get access to these free airdrops, which is cool, right? Who doesn't like free money? Then over time, it became, well, I wouldn't say more difficult, but projects had more requirements, right? So then they wanted you to hold Atom, and they also maybe wanted you to hold Osmosis. They might want you to hold, some Celestia now, or some Evmos, or whatever, right? All these different projects, because they want people to be engaged. It's not just a giveaway. It's not a way for people to get rich. They're trying to onboard users onto their projects and into the Cosmos ecosystem. And the Cosmos ecosystem started with Atom. It was the first token. So it's natural that they would want value accrual in that token. And now, like I said, things have changed. So instead of building on, applications on the Cosmos Hub, at one point there was one, but now there are no projects or applications that live on the Cosmos Hub. There are two now that are secured by Atom's security, because there's like over $3 billion of value in Atom. But in a lot of smaller chains don't, when they first get started, it's hard to get started because it's just a lot of work. It's expensive because they have to find validators. They have to, there's a lot of stuff that, and there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So a couple of projects have decided, what, we're going to leverage the security of the Cosmos Hub, and they're part of the Atom economic zone. So you might see that acronym, thrown around in the Cosmos space. So another, there are plenty of ecosystems. You have Solana, you have Avalanche, you have Polkadot, a bunch of them. One that's hot right now is Solana. Solana, I don't know when they launched. They maybe launched a year ago, maybe a little longer. But anyway, it's really hot now. So if I were to hold another token after Ethereum, it would probably be Solana. And then whatever else you like after that, pick your chain. But I've also learned that crypto is driven by a lot of narrative and, you know, what people think is going to happen and hype and everything. That's where the speculation comes in. I try to stay away from that. I mean, I'll you know, obviously want to be in projects that have strength, but I don't want to be in a project just because it, you know, it's the next new thing. You know, I want it to be something that I believe in. You know, I plan on holding for a while. Some other things that I learned, you know, get a hardware wallet. You know, don't store the majority of your wealth in a hot wallet, in a browser, or on a mobile app wallet. Get a hardware wallet. Store your coins there. There are plenty of good ones. Ledger is a very popular one, but there are others. Tanger is another one. You know, just look around. You know, you'll find them, and they aren't too expensive. And you know what's it worth, right? If you have $10,000 of Bitcoin, you know, you don't want to leave that in a hardware. I mean, in a mobile wallet on your phone. What if it gets stolen, right? Other things, you know, my kind of one of the things that I learned is that you know, I really don't want to buy tokens unless I can stake them. We can talk about staking, you know, more in another video. I don't want this one to be too long, but staking is basically like dividends if you buy a stock. So if you're familiar with that, it's the same concept. You know, you get more tokens over time as long as you hold them, and you have to what they call delegate them to a validator. You don't want to hold tokens after a bull market. Trust me, I know. You know, there were some that I couldn't get out of. I didn't want to sell for, or I mean, I made a choice for tax reasons. And during the bear market, they went close to zero. I didn't know tokens, you know, the ones that I bought could get that cheap. But you know, I kept them, and luckily most of them I was staking, so I was getting more of them during the bear market. But yeah, you know, that's not a good plan at all. You know, I'd say sell before the end of the bull run. And then, you know, you can dollar cost average and, you know, during the bear market and some projects that you really like, you believe in, and then, you know, go from there. What else? Yeah, there are a lot of scams. There are a lot of scammers, especially with AI. It's getting hard to tell, you know, what's real and what's not. Just be safe, you know, be aware of the sites that you're connecting to, you know, where you're going. Don't you know, go chasing or, you know, farming airdrops on any unknown site. That's what it's called. People that chase airdrops, they call it farming airdrops. And what they do is they get involved mainly with new projects during testnet, and even during the mainnet when it's live. And you know, you do certain things on the like transactions. You use the applications and whatever on the well, I say some of the applications or even some of the layer ones, you know, you use them and, you know, they'll give you free tokens. And sometimes it's worth a lot of money. You know, it could be $10, it could be $100, it could be, you know, $10,000. It just depends, you know, depends on how much you have invested and how much the project is, how much funding they have, they can, you know, they can give away. So it can be quite lucrative. So I would say those are other than buying you know, tokens like Bitcoin or Ethereum and watching, you know, holding them for a while and watch the value accrue over time, the price go up. The other two ways to make money in crypto other than trading are through airdrops and through staking. Staking is probably the safest way to make money. It takes time, it's slower, but it's definitely a lot safer. Airdrops, like I said, can be risky depending on the site. You gotta make sure that you're not dealing with, you know, any scammy websites or anything like that that's gonna, you know, steal your money, right? The other thing, get a VPN. It's getting more important, especially you know, if you're I'll say in certain jurisdictions where certain transactions are not allowed. I won't say any more than that, but it's not just that. It's about, you know, protecting your privacy. And because every time you go to a site, you expose your IP address and you can be tracked. And, you know, you would want somebody to follow you around in real life. So, you know, why would you want them following you around, you know, online? Okay, I think that's all I wanted to share in this video. You know, if I have some more thoughts, then I may create another one like this. But like I said, I just wanted to kind of get some things out of, off my, out of my head, explain or just give you a sense of, what my thoughts were after, being in crypto for about 2 years. And, being, going through the ups and the downs. I mean, it's tough. You have to be, thick skinned. It's not for the weak, or, as they call, people that have paper hands. If you are afraid of volatility and, you're watching the value of, your token or your money, move up or down quickly or in large amounts, then, this is not the space for you, because right now crypto is way too volatile. And you just, it'll rack your nerves, and you don't need that. Okay, I'm gonna end this video here, and like I said, if I have any other thoughts or things that I want to share, then I'll create a new video. See you next time.